ייגמר לעולם. לי שלא ייגמר לעולם. החול והים רישרוש של המים מרק השמיים תפילת האדם החול והים רישרוש של המים מרק השמיים תפילת האדם.
We find ourselves this evening on the shores of the sea, offering the words that speak about the beauty of the ocean and remind us about the things that never change. The sand, the sea, the rush of the waters, and the prayer of the heart. We gather here tonight, not just by the shores of the sea, but in this house of mourning, united by our shared grief and love. The space, filled with memories and emotions, becomes as sacred as we come together to offer our support and compassion to those who mourn. In Jewish tradition, the Shiva is a time when we honor the departed by surrounding their loved ones with care, understanding, and presence. It's a time to acknowledge the pain of loss and the emptiness it brings, but also a time to celebrate the lives that were lived and the legacies that continue. Together, we form a circle of support, a reminder that no one is alone in their grief. As we remember Anne this evening, just as we farewelled her this morning, we reaffirm our dedication to each other, knowing that through the love of community, the love of family, we'll be able to find the strength to endure and in time to heal. May this time of reflection and remembrance bring us closer. And may we leave this gathering with a renewed sense of compassion and unity.
שלא ייגמר לעולם. החול והים רישרוש של המים מרק השמיים תפילת האדם החול והים רישרוש של המים מרק השמיים תפילת האדם.
I realize some of you have the service booklet for this evening. Others of you do not. Don't worry if you don't. Really, it's an opportunity for us to lean into the words of tradition to help bring us together And as we do that, I want to acknowledge that in addition to those of us that fill this home, there's another community on the other side of the ocean, not quite ready for the evening prayer, more the morning prayer, but have gathered, which is why we have a microphone and a camera, recognizing that there are so many that want to be here supporting you, remembering Anne. Before we turn to the evening prayer, the words of Mariv, a teaching. Our rabbis taught that there are three crowns: the crown of Torah, the crown of priesthood, and the crown of royalty. But they emphasized that the crown of a good name exceeds them all. In the book of Kohelet, we are told that a good name is to be treasured above all, even precious oil. Wealth, health, even life pass away, but a good name endures forever. It is in this view that the Talmud teaches us that monuments need not be erected to the righteous. Their deeds are their memorials. They will be remembered and revered for the kindness they have shown, for the love they have given. They are shining examples of what it means to be mentioned. And while my Yiddish grammar is not where it perhaps should be, I'm not exactly sure how to conjugate it, Anne was certainly that. A mensch. And our lives, every single one of our lives, made better through her work, and her heart. The 29th Psalm.
Adonai Oz Le'amo Yiten Adonai Yevarech et Amo Adonai Oz Le'amo Yiten Adonai Yevarech et Amo Shalom. Shalom.
If you're able, I invite you to turn with us to page 8 for the call to prayer. Please rise.
Malchut Adonai Hamevorach Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
As you are seated, if you're able, there's a chair for you. I invite you to do so as we continue now with the Ma'ariv Aravim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah potach sha'arim, u'bifanei mashanei itim, u'mechalif et hazmanim, u'mesader et hakochavim, b'shmoroteihem barkiah kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, v'le'o mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei o, u'ma'avil yom v'vein layla, u'ma'avdil ben yom v'vein layla, Adonai tzavot shemo, el chai v'kayam tamid imloch aleinu la'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv.
Avat olam Beit Yisrael Hamchavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu B'shaltenu u'b'kumenu Nasiach b'chukecha V'nismach b'nifrit Toratecha ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגן יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, ופשטתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
On the foot of page 11.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. On the foot of page 12, the concluding verses of our song of redemption and reconciliation.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר, בקודש נורתנו עושה פלא. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Page 13, we arrive at the Hashkivenu prayer. The Hashkivenu prayer is one of my personal favorite prayers in Jewish tradition because it is so honest, so simplistic. But in the house of mourning, it's often one of the hardest prayers to say. Because what it asks is that we have the ability to lie our heads down to rest at night. And we're given the privilege of being able to wake in the morning renewed. Not all of us get that privilege every day. This gathering is an acute reminder of that. But so much of what I learned about the woman who brings us together is that she would want us to lay our heads down tonight and rest. She'd want us to wake up tomorrow renewed. In the middle of the prayer, there is an indent. Just a portion of a greater expression. One that we offer in dedication to her. Shmot Se'etenu.
Shmot Se'etenu vo'enu. לחיים
God our going
ושנו
and our coming, to life
מעתה
and to
ועד
peace.
מעתה
Peace in our world
ועד מעתה
and peace in eternity. As we turn forward to page 14, we arrive at the tefillah, or the Amidah. It is both our individual as well as our communal prayer passed down by tradition. Not in fact one prayer, it's a series of prayers, as you'll see from the pages that follow. It begins on page 14 and concludes on page 25. Very aware of the fact that not everyone in this room is as familiar as I or Tammy with the words of our tradition. The fact is that these words don't necessarily speak to us if we are familiar with them. But what they do is they offer us a framework to engage and to be present. And so I want to invite you, if you're able, to stand with us on page 14. We're going to open with the opening words of the first prayer, Adonai Sefatai Tiftachu Fi Yagid Tehilatecha. Eternal One, open our lips that our mouths may say the things that we need to say. And then we're going to leave each other in personal prayer and quiet reflection. You may choose to offer the words of tradition if they are familiar to you. You may choose to read the translations and interpretations that follow it, or you might just choose to leave the pages of the prayer book and turn for a few moments to the pages of your heart. We'll rejoin each other on the foot of page 25, and if standing is difficult for you, please know that we'll totally understand if you choose to sit.
Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Reratzon bimrei fi לפניך, אדוני, צורי וגואלי, וגואלי.
Earlier today, I offered a poem. I know it particularly resonated with you, Ivar, and I'm going to repeat it once more. As was the first words that came to my mind when I finished meeting with the family on Friday, and was thinking, what could we choose that would appropriately honour their sister, wife, mother, grandmother? You can shed a tear. David Harkins. You can shed tears that she is gone, or you can smile because she has lived. You can close your eyes and pray that she will come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that she has left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see her, or you can be full of the love that you shared. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live for yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember her and only that she is gone, or you can cherish her memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn your back. Or you can do as she would want. Smile. Open your eyes. Love. And go on. I was given the privilege earlier today of sharing but a bit of Ann's life. This evening I'd like to invite her daughters to come up, supporting each other, to offer some thoughts from the family.
Feels strange standing here, speaking about our beautiful mum, who only a few short weeks ago was cooking her grandkids their favourite schnitzel dinner. But here we are, and it's important we share with you how much she meant to all of us. She was the heart of our family who kept us all connected. Most of you will know we are an incredibly close family. We actually didn't realise this wasn't normal until friends pointed it out to us recently. Apparently it's unusual for sisters to be so close and for families to regularly holiday together. But that is just our normal, and it is 100% because of Mum and the way she and Dad brought us up. We now see how close our kids, Callum, Miller, Oscar and Decky, are, as well as the very close relationship Mum and Dad have with Connor and Tay, who they always thought of as their grandchildren. Simon and Brett also had an amazing relationship with Mum. They adored her, and having both lost their mums in the last few years, genuinely thought of her as their mum too. Mum had a special bond with her brother Ivor. He reminded us recently they weren't your typical brother and sister. They just never fought. Ivor's constant support for Mum and for us over the past difficult weeks shows the strength of their relationship. It's important to mention that Mum was also incredibly close with her nieces, Liz and Laura, who lost their mum when they were young. She stepped in and was like a mum to them. The closeness we now have with our cousins is a testament to Mum's love. Although we may not have realised it at the time, Mum was an incredible role model for us growing up. She went back to study as a mature age student when we were at school and qualified as a teacher, then dedicated 2 decades to teaching kids with special needs. She was perfect in that role. She was so patient, gentle and encouraging. And we saw that in a way she interacted with our kids as well. We now realise Mum taught us so many things that we carried into adult life. She taught us to be kind, tolerant and not to judge other people. Mum never had a bad word to say about anyone, and we like to think this is something she instilled in us as well.
Mum also taught us the value of friendship. She remained close with her childhood best friend Marion for 68 years. And of course, Mum had the most special friendship with the people we know as the holiday group, and who have been a great support to us and to Dad through this difficult time. We can see from the number of people who are here tonight just how many genuine and long-lasting friendships Mum had. Many years ago, before he met Mum, we're told that Dad visited a psychic. We're not entirely sure why he did, but she told him he would marry someone much shorter than him, have 2 daughters and live very far away. At that time, he was living in the UK. So it seems she was right. Mum and Dad were married for over 52 years. It's clear that they adored each other for every one of those years, and their relationship has been one that we can only hope to replicate. One of Mum's greatest joys was travelling the world with Dad. Wherever their adventures took them, they always made the effort to reconnect with family in the UK. Thanks to those visits, we now share a strong bond with Mum's side of the family in Manchester and with Dad's in London. We feel incredibly fortunate to have shared so many wonderful trips with them both over the years. Perhaps most importantly, Mum was exactly the kind of mum that we aspire to be. She had unconditional love for us and for our kids. She supported us, was always there for us, and she never let us forget how proud she was. When our kids were born, she helped us navigate the beginnings of motherhood when we needed it most. Mum showed us how a mum should be. As a Nanna, our kids will tell you that she was the best. She watched them play sport, she had them for sleepovers, she made their favourite foods at Friday night dinner. She sat on the floor and played games with them, like Lego when they were younger, and more recently Rummikub. She was happy for the kids to raid the pantry every time they came over, and she always had ice creams in the freezer for them, which was something we certainly didn't have when we were kids. Basically, the rules went out the window when it came to her grandkids, who she happily spoilt. We weren't surprised when we were told recently by some of Mum's closest friends that she constantly talked about her grandchildren. Mum may not have mentioned to them that almost every time she saw her grandkids, they would measure themselves against her. For some reason, they saw their Nanna as the height benchmark, which, needless to say, it didn't take long for them to get there. Mum may not have been a physically big person, but she was stronger than she looked. She was tenacious in her dedication to her family. She was Dad's rock, and she was our rock. We will always be thankful for the time we had with Mum. The Friday night dinners, her chicken soup and matzo balls, the way she doted on and always encouraged her grandchildren, her kindness, her selflessness, our amazing family holidays, our shopping trips, our breakfasts out, our coffees and our daily phone chats. We will love and miss our Mum forever, and we will never forget how lucky we were to have her. We're also now going to just read a message that came from Bernard Carnell in London, who was Dad's friend from university, who was the best man at Mum and Dad's wedding. And he also hosted the party where Mum and Dad went. And it's beautiful words which we think are really important to share. Dearest Steve, from the very first time when over 50 years ago you introduced Anne to me and to Liz, it was clear that you had found each other's perfect partner and support. I forgive you both that as best man at your wedding, I was required to wear a brown bowler hat. I even forgive you that having decided you did not want any speeches at your wedding celebration, you announced to me less than half an hour before the ceremony that you had changed your mind. It has been a joy and privilege to share decades of friendship with you both. Despite the continent separating us over the last 40 years, our friendship with Anne and you has endured and strengthened. It has always been clear that the success of your lives together and of nurturing and supporting your two wonderful daughters, and in due course their own families, is a testament to the love and support you have given each other over all those years. I treasure that the three of us spent 15 marvellous days together in Italy and Slovenia this April and May. Days full of conversation and laughter. How wonderful it is that Anne was living life to the full until just a few short weeks ago. You will now have a big hole in your life. I have no special advice to give other than to share my own feelings since Liz died in November 2023. First, that the pain you feel now mirrors the happiness you had before. That's the deal. The greater the pain reflects, the greater the happiness you found with each other. Second, that you will surely find that you will think of Anne and probably talk to her every day and realise that to do so is a blessing and a comfort. Your lives together have enriched each other in many ways. The family life the two of you created, and at which Anne was and will remain the stable centre, lives on through Tash and Adie and your grandchildren. What a wonderful tribute to Anne that is. Your loving and forever friend, Bernard.
The 23rd Psalm.
Adonai roi lo echsar minot esher yarbitzeini al mei menuchot al mei menuchot yenach aleini nafshi yeshovev yeshovev yancheni b'maglei tzedek yancheni b'maglei tzedek leman shemo Adonai roi lo echsar Adonai roi lo echsar.
We rise for the memorial prayer. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, we ask that you grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to Anne, Jeanette, Jerrard, Chana, Bat Ruth, B'Yerachum, who has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let her find refuge in the shadow of your wings, and let her soul be bound in the everlasting bond of life. Eternity is her inheritance. May she rest in peace, and let us say, Amen.
El Melech Rachamim, Shochen Banomim, Amseh Menucha Nechona, Tachad al Knfei HaShechina, Im Kedoshim Utorim, Zohar HaMazhirim, Lenishmat Chana Bat Ruth V'Yerucham, She'achal Le'olama, Ve'al Rachamim Yastirem, Tzedek Nafav Le'olamim, Vayitzro Bitzro Et Hayim, Et Nishmata, Adonai Hu Nachalatam, Vayanuchu Ashalom Al Mishkavam Venamar Amen.
Before we close this formalities of this evening, I wanted to share a brief conversation that we had on Friday, just as you were walking out of the steeple, Steve. Say that 3 times fast. I asked you what you wanted tonight. And in your very humble, gentle way, you kind of shrugged your shoulders. Who am I to tell the rabbi what I... You know, in my office, a little smaller, except for the hat with the correcting me on the wrong soccer team. Sorry, football team. You shrugged your shoulders and said, I'm not sure. And I said to you, the last weeks, month, have been utterly exhausting, overwhelming, unfathomable for any of us to understand, those who've watched all of you as a family journey through it. And your response to me was, yeah, but we also need to celebrate. We need to celebrate a remarkable, bright and beautiful life. So while the tone for this evening wasn't exactly as celebratory as perhaps the last time this group of people gathered in this house, I've no doubt Anne would have been really proud of the spread that all these people helped create. And she'd want everyone to stay around and tell stories. Adi and Tash shared just a few of the stories, the memorable moments. But all of you have stories. All of you have memories. All of you have moments that come to mind when I say to you, think about Anne. You're not going to be able to tell these people all of these stories tonight. But they're going to need you to tell them these stories over the days, weeks, and months ahead. And every time you share a story, you help bring blessing to Anne's memory, and you bring comfort to them. So I think I'm kind of preaching to the choir when I say pick up the phone, arrange a coffee, go for a walk, find a moment to celebrate and remember, because that's how we'll be able to comfort these mourners just like our ancestors did in the gates of Jerusalem and Zion. We're going to conclude our gathering with the recitation of Kaddish Yatom. Kaddish Yatom is usually titled with the mourner's Kaddish, but those who know liturgy well know that the These ancient words penned first in Aramaic thousands of years ago are not about mourning. They're not even about loss. They're about life. The recognition and the appreciation at how extraordinary the gift of life is. We offer these words as we give thanks for life, even as we recognize the immensity of loss.
Amen. Hey, Shemay, Rabam, Barach, Olam, Olamei, Amen. Barichu. Amen. Amen. Say shalom b'mama. Kuya say shalom. Nenu. Al kol Yisrael. Al kol Yoshvei Tevel. V'imru. Amen. Oh, say shalom b'mama. Kuya say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
I wish you all a long life and look forward to seeing you soon, please God, at a simcha.